Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Monday morning's edition of Contracting's Chatter. Grab your business bestie, your contracting notebook, and your favorite beverage. We are here to essentially talk about all things business, all things government contracting. Yes. Whew. I hope you had an amazingly restful weekend. You know what? My other streaming platform be getting on my nerves. And I said I was going to start going live using my new service. I just haven't figured out one thing with that service yet. And that's how to use my cover photo with that. On TikTok, you don't get to see it. I have this great cover that shows and then it reveals myself. It's great. You don't see it on TikTok, but everybody else gets to see it. I just haven't figured out how to use that on that platform yet. But good morning. How are we doing? Welcome to Contracting Chatter. This is where we discuss all things business, all things government contracting. Um, as we march towards my 10-year anniversary celebration in my business, I'm sharing with you some of my lessons learned in between sharing my regular content for this platter. This is not a political platform. We are discussing the business of becoming a government contractor. Why we're discussing business? Because don't forget, you're a government contractor, but you're a business as well. So I do share business information over here, how to scale your business, how to stabilize your business, how to grow your business. And I'm also sharing valuable lessons learned because there is a lot of things we don't discuss about business that really needs to be discussed. You know, the unsexy part of business that you don't hear talked about a lot. I don't know why we don't talk about it, but it really needs to be talked about. You will hear me talk about leadership and mindset a great deal. People think, let's start a business and just start a business, which is important. But there's not a lot of conversation around the mindset that needs to occur to start and the mindset growth that is required to sustain a business. The person you are when you found your business and the person you are as you grow your business are not the same people. What it takes to stay in it for the long haul is not the same person. Mm-mm. You evolve, you grow emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you grow. And if you don't, your business fails. I know a lot of the articles and conversations around business failure, they always say customers and they say marketing. I personally believe a lot of it is around the failure of the founder to grow and evolve. I really believe that plays a key part in businesses failing. The founder does not grow and evolve. Let me know if you can hear me on any of the platforms that you're listening on. Let me know if you can hear me and you can hear me clearly. If I say something that resonates with you, please drop it in the chat that resonates. If I say something that you don't quite understand, say, hey, I need you to repeat that, or that's not clear. Because I want you to understand what I'm sharing with you. I want you to walk away from my content understanding what I meant to deliver. I don't ever want somebody to walk away from my morning broadcast saying she didn't make any sense or I didn't understand. So let me know if you're not understanding what I'm putting down. With that said, I want to open up this morning's broadcast with this statement. I follow a coach and I've attended her conferences, and she broke down the statement leaving money on the table. And I know several of us have heard that statement, you're leaving money on the table. And we thought it meant you're walking away from money. However, she said as she performed research around the statement, she actually discovered it meant you were walking away from a bad deal. So you are supposed to leave money on the table. It's actually something you're supposed to do. And as she broke that down in that masterclass, I came away with two thoughts. One, people are in a habit of regurgitating or repeating terms. They have no clue what they really mean. So the terms end up in the common vernacular being misused. Good morning, Vaughn. Thank you. Girl, when he cut my hair, I had a whole conniption fit. But that's a segue into the second part. I had a whole conniption fit when he cut my hair. But people use terms and bring them into the common vernacular, and they don't understand what they mean. Leaving money on the table is actually a good thing because that means you're walking away from a bad deal. Now, how many people didn't know that? Now, a whole lot of people are going to think, yeah, I knew that. No, you didn't. Because too many people use that term. Now people are going to say, well, we're reclaiming the term. No, you didn't. You were using the term to mean that you were leaving money on the table so it was a good thing. And what it meant was, and most people were using the term because they thought it was a bad thing. You're not supposed to leave that money on the table, when honestly what it meant was you're walking away from a bad deal. And so I came away with that thought. And secondly, why would you walk away from a bad deal? And what makes a bad deal? And we're going to talk about what constitutes a bad deal. We're going to talk about what constitutes a bad deal this morning. Too many people walk into business deals only looking at the cost. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? How much does it cost? And not looking at the ultimate return. And the cost and the return are not necessarily the same thing. Well, if I'm spending $90,000, what is my return? Good morning, Marvin. You should not expect a dollar for dollar return. A lot of us think if I'm spending $90,000, I should expect a $270,000 return. That is not always the way it works. A return on value for a contract or a deal is not always a 3-to-1. We need to get out of that mindset. Some deals are a 3-to-1 return. Some deals aren't. That is why people have a hard time handling or buying coaching and consulting services, because you can't see the 3-to-1 return. I did a whole masterclass on monitoring the unseen. And quite frankly, there are people didn't sign up for it. I went live anyway. Do you know why? Because people did not understand the value of monitoring the unseen. When your back end is raggedy. Good morning, Agatha. When your back end is raggedy, it costs you money. But because it's unseen at the moment, you don't value it. You don't, because you're not monitoring the unseen. It's when somebody like me come in and point out, you're paying for this service twice. You understand that when you're doing this, the penalty is this. It's when you get in trouble with the IRS, with DCAA, and then they're administering penalties and fines. And a person like me come in and said, well, if you had brought me in sooner, and let me tell you, I'm petty like that. Had you brought me in the beginning, you wouldn't be paying out this fine now. Monitoring the unseen. All returns are not necessarily a front end 3-to-1. It's protection, it's in the prevention. So, what constitutes a bad deal could be your inability to see the value of a deal. That's why I have a problem with this concept that's being taught in the world, out in the coaching world, of if somebody doesn't buy from you, you didn't convey the value. Sometimes they just don't see it. You can stand on your head and the person just doesn't pick up the value of the deal. I mean, it is what it is. Some people will never see the value because unless you're talking about a deal where they're actually seeing a monetary return, they will never see the value of it. And that is because their mindset is locked into this 3-to-1 or this 2-to-1, or the person who has their ear is telling them, well, if you can't see a monetary return, there is no return. So what constitutes a bad deal? Your mindset being wrong is one. Your mindset being bad is one. Secondly, character, yours and theirs. And it's not necessarily bad character all the time, but it is bad character. Immature character is just as harmful as bad character. Hear me out, keep walking with me, because I know somebody got off the bus when I said immature character. I'm not saying behaving like a child. I'm not talking about behaving like a high schooler. But I started off my life talking about the person you are when you founded your business and the person you are, what it takes to sustain a business is not the same person. I started off my life talking about I believe business failure has as much to do with the founder inability to grow as it does with systems and all that other stuff. Immature character on either person's part constitutes a bad deal because if you cannot mature your character, how are you going to negotiate a good deal? How are you going to come to the table and behave in good faith? Not that you are a bad person. Cut that out. It's that you do not have the maturity that it takes to come to the table and do what it takes to make that deal in good faith. Does that make sense to anybody? Or do I need to say that in a different way? What constitutes a bad deal? Leaving money on the table may be what you need to do. Stop being hypnotized by the dollar signs and start evaluating the capacity and the capabilities of your business and your network. My friend came on and she was talking about my hair. When I said I knew my hair was going to have to get cut because I knew that there was damage. I didn't know he was going to have to do this. Okay. And Daniel, if you catch my replay, I'm talking about you. I love my hairstylist, but he knows how I feel about my hair. Okay, I'm gonna pull it out. See where it comes? Okay, my hair stops here. Anybody who knows my hair was down to here, but it was damaged. So he had to cut it. There are times when you do the evaluation and when you assess it. When I walked in his shop, I said, I know you're going to have to cut it. Tell me how much so I can prepare. And his response to me was, I'm going to have to do a full assessment before I can tell you. A lot of times we want to start pruning before we have assessed. But listen to what I did. I knew that it needed cutting, but I went to a professional for an assessment. A lot of times we don't want to engage in a professional for the assessment. We know that our businesses need restructuring. We know that our businesses need assessments. We know that our businesses need something, but we want to keep self-assessing and self-adjusting when we need to bring in a professional. Come on. Bring in a professional. My marketing stunk. I mean, horrible. I'm not a marketing professional. I am a professional of government contracting. I'm a professional of strategy. My friends will always come to me for a strategic assessment. They ain't come to me for marketing. My friends came to me, good morning, chef. My friends came to me and said, this is a situation. What should I do? They came to me for strategic assessments. They didn't come to me for marketing. So why did I think that I could come up with marketing for my business? Nope. It was when I tapped into a marketing coach. And she said, honey, your language, you just need to change your wording. You need to put this over here and put this over there. You need to bring down your language some because you're not talking to your industry besties. You're talking to the regular person. She said, you know what you're talking about, but I didn't understand a word that you said. I stopped trying to assess myself and I went to talk to an expert. Did anybody picking up what I'm putting down? It was when I matured a little bit more in my business. Excuse me. Is when I matured in myself and got out of ego and said, I need help in my marketing. I already knew my marketing stunk. And I said, you know what? No more Google University, no to more YouTube college, and I got help. I said on my road to the 10-year anniversary of my business, I was going to drop some business lessons. And I know somebody listening to this saying, well, I don't want to spend any money. I don't have any money. And honey, you will never have the money until you get the help. And it comes incrementally. Take a new look at an old truth that you're telling yourself. And is it the truth? Are you telling yourself the truth? Or are you wrapping a lie in a bow, in a packaging, and making it pretty and calling itself the truth? Now, somebody's saying, what does this have to do with business? Everything. Because as long as we keep continuing to call ourselves business founders, but feeding ourselves false intelligence, you'll never scale and grow. I have a thing I tell people all the time. Certifications don't do a blessed thing for your business in government contracting. People fight me on that all day long. But you know why I say that? Because when my first government contract, when I talked to the contracting officer, he had a list of certified businesses and they couldn't submit an invoice. So they were certified and didn't know how to get paid. Get your back end together. I was trying to recruit subcontractors to bid on a contract with me. How many of these BAMers were telling me that they had rates for every contract, and I'm sitting on there like, why? You got 20 contracts and 20 set of rates, and this one girl was on the phone with me talking about she stopped doing government contracting because it required too many rates. And I was like, no, that's you. You didn't know what you was doing. You need to have one set of rates unless the contract requires you to have a certain set of rates. That was you not knowing what you was doing. And instead of taking a coaching, because I've been in the industry for as long as I was, she's telling me I'm wrong. Okay, look, you have at it. Next. People are so ingrained in what they know until they refuse to believe that they don't know what they think they know. Maturity in character. People drive themselves out of business by refusing to believe they don't know everything. I am an expert at what I know, and what I don't know, I seek the expert in. Listen to what I just said. I'm an expert at what I know, and what I don't know, I seek expertise in. I'm not a branding coach. I seek a branding expert. When my clients come to me and I see that they have a need for something, I pick up the phone and say, I have a client who needs this. I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on TV. However, I have a Rolodex that have attorneys in them. I know enough about the law to tell you not to do this. I know enough about HR from my compliance expertise in my compliance office to tell you don't do that. But when we get to talking about what bringing in the law, let me go call an attorney for you. There are people who will give you advice to tell you to represent yourself in court. There's an old saying: those who represent themselves in court have a fool for a client, and we leave it there. Moving on. To bring it all back, as you scale and grow in business, and as you sit in the seat of the CEO of your business, you will have to assess yourself and say there are needs in your business. And once you identify those needs, you need to bring in an expert to do the evaluation. I'm going to say it again. As you sit in the seat of the CEO of your business and you identify that there are areas that need help, bring in the experts to do the evaluation, because you will never evaluate yourself objectively, because you don't want to hurt yourself the way you need to hurt yourself to fix yourself the way you need to fix yourself. And with that, I invite you to join me tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another installment of Contracting Chatter. If you wish to book a session with me, scan the QR code on the screen so that I can help you evaluate your systems to get you on the way to the next level, whatever that may be for your business. TikTok, go to my description, ltacg.as.me, book that consultation so we can get you to the next level, whatever that is for your business at this time. And with that, I will see you tomorrow morning. Remember, a stressed mind cannot create. So, whatever it is that is stressing you out, you need to walk away from it and then come back, because you will always find your peace, your answer in the peace. And sometimes your answer is to book a session with me. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day.